everyone, thank you for tuning in. I'm your instructor Joy. Thank you very much for your continued support here also on my Patreon page, booking lessons with me, volunteering with your time, send me kind questions, comments. It means a lot to me. Thank you very, very much. So today we're going to talk about bow. I left my violin on the side because there's a lot of things it matters with a bow. It starts also knowing how to rosin the bow properly. So I'm going to show you a couple of steps that you can do. Before we start showing you how to rosin, rosining the bow is a very important step because that's where the beautiful tones comes from. If you don't have enough rosin in your bow hair, it's going to be hard to produce beautiful tone. Generally, you can rosin before every practicing session, 5 to 10 times. If your bow hair is a brand new, whether you got a new bow or re-haired, and at least 20 to 30 times you need to go back and forth. So one meaning one, that would be the one, yeah. But there's a little more to that, so I will show you a couple of things. So first, you might have noticed because our hand is touching all parts of the bow hair. Sometimes there's a little fat built in within the hair, or sometimes there's a bow hair a little chunk together because a rosin is sticky, it's supposed to be sticky, which is made from tree sap, and sometimes chunks up the bow hair. So it's important to know how to clean your bow hair before you apply rosin. So let's start with that one. So I use simple toothbrush. Make sure it's unused, never touch the water. So now what I'm going to do is there's a little screw here. I'm going to turn counterclockwise. That way, by doing that one, this part of the frog goes forward and this screw ultimately comes out. And I'm going to put this one down. And of course, one can take this one out, but no need to do. Just keep it there. Put your fingers down and you see the hair is much loose, and that's what we want. So again, grab our, nothing fancy, but just never used a dry toothbrush. I actually saw this from one of my professors doing in Germany when I was studying, and I thought that was such a great idea. You don't have to do it every time, by the way. You can just do maybe once every month or every 2 months, so approximately, just so that to give a little, to clean a little old fat or chunky hair. So starting from here, just gently like that, and go sideways where our fingers touch a lot. Another side. I go this part a lot because that's where the fat is built, and I go gently inside, very gentle, and make sure you don't press it too hard, very gentle, yeah, and then you go all the way to the tip. Same thing here. So at the tip, let's see, you just do it very gently, and also the side, and here, like that. Oops. And if you want to go inside, you can do very gently as well. Just a couple of times, not too much, because you don't want to pull your hair too much. If you prefer to leave the stick on the table, and then you can do it separately too. But I find it's a little harder to brush it when the hair is this loose, so I prefer to keep it in the hole here and press it with a finger gently and just brush it very gently, just a couple of times. And if there's any old chunky hair, then you can just do a little more on the side. That's enough. Then I'm gonna get my screw back. Then I put screw here. Make sure the hair is not twisted, all straight. Then put it back gently and turn clockwise. Now here, now we have to tighten the bow hair first. So the way, because it's hard to apply without tightening the bow hair, the way you measure whether your bow is tight enough is by turning right and about in the middle meaning the bow hair is straight, bow stick is straight, and approximately in the middle, or there's a curve and a little deeper dip in the middle. That would be a good one. So use your pencil. So if you can put your pencil through easily, about pencil thickness would be great. Now, for example, if I put it I can put it through, but it's a little hard. I have to push my pencil through. That means it's a bit too loose. So I'm gonna keep turning clockwise. And then now I'm gonna see, not at the tip, not at the frog, in the middle. Now, when I put here, the pencil does go through, but there's a little more room. I don't know if you can see it. There's a little more room. That means it's a bit too tight. So loosen it. I'm gonna loosen counterclockwise, like that. Just enough. So in the middle again, that's where the big curve is. When the pencil goes through, it's about pencil thickness like that and can stay in. It doesn't have to be super horizontal, but this is about a good measure. Could be more or less, but that's a good measure. Now that's good to go. Now, then see if there's any loose hair anywhere sticking out. If so, make sure don't pull the hair out, because remember it's a bundled, hair is bundled underneath just like you would bundle your hair. And if you keep pulling, the bundled a little rope might get loose and all hair could come. So make sure when hair breaks, instead of pulling out, get a little tiny scissors or nail clippers and cut it through in each end. I don't know if you can see, there's a little cut here. Oops, like that. Do you see that? So you would cut it through. That way the hair is no more dangling, but underneath the bundle is tight so that the hair stays together. Otherwise, a lot of hair might just come out. We do not want that. Then that's good enough. Now, I use personally Hills & Sons dark rosin, because this is darker one is a rather stickier than brighter one, and it's stickier one tend to work well in dry weather. Here in Canada, with a heater on, it can be quite dry indoors, so I prefer to use that one. In summer, it can be a little sticky. Then, at least here, if you're rather sticky or humid area, you want to use a brighter color, which is a powderier. And if you live rather drier area, you can use darker one. But sometimes I even use dark one in summer or humid area too. Make sure you hold the rosin on the bottom, like that. So do not apply rosin from top like this, because you can apply, but accidentally you drop the rosin, and once you drop it, it breaks it, and you need to make another trip, or you need to get another rosin. That's not necessary. Keep your rosin safely in your hand, and then clear the way so that the bow hair can go through. Cloth is good so that we don't get a sticky finger. And then here, make sure you rosin all part of the bow. We use all part of the bow, therefore we need rosin every part of it. Now, a lot of us just go back and forth like this, which is better than nothing, but I prefer to go section by section. So here, near frog, where you have a strong sound, it's important. Do it slowly so you don't crank up and break it. Slowly, just a little like this. And I like to go also sideways, like this. Because the bow hair is many layers of horsetail hair. So whenever you put rosin on the surface, it's just touching the surface. By going sideways, you're putting the rosin underneath many layers. So after many hours of playing, the rosin is still there. So I like to go first back and forth slowly, small section, and then sideways. Show you. Like that, but always my hand on the bottom like this. Then you go in the middle section, same way. I go sideways too, so that I have a little more rosin, and then I like to do middle section. As you can notice, I prefer to go small section. I can really apply that one, and then top and near the tip, I put a little more weight with my hand, so I can really get into the tip, the end of the hair, and then again sideways a bit, and then slowly section, and then now I go back and forth slowly, at least 5 times. 3, 4, 5. It's not done yet. Remember, we use a lot of tilted hair. That means on the right side of our bow hair, we use more than the left side, and we need a little more rosin there. So just like the way we use tilted hair, that side, on the right side here, you would put more rosin. So here, I tilt my bow and then I put on the side as well, right? And if you're using a lot of fast string crossings, that means you're using a lot of upper half bow, and then you use a little more than two sideways, like that. Once you're done, then you will see the rosin dust is a little around. Make sure you clear that one, otherwise you get sticky finger. Sticky finger itself is not a big deal, but if it gets on your left, then it might interfere with your playing, especially when you have to slide up and down. So just make sure you wipe it a bit so that you don't get sticky finger. And just tiny bit like that, yeah? So make sure, I've seen some violinists scraping the rosin with the end of the bow frog. I understand when you have a new rosin, it's a little hard to apply because it has a little white surface. Maybe you can use something else like a pencil or something like that, but try to use your precious bow there, because remember we have a little pearl here. If you scratch that one, you might lose your beautiful pearl parts. It can be replaced, but I think it's rather a high price to pay just a scratch surface. So use something else. Use at the end of the pen or something other scratching to access new rosin better. But keep that one well, yeah? And make sure once you're done after practicing, don't forget to loosen your bow hair by turning counterclockwise until the hair gets a little touched, and then you can store it. I hope this gave you an idea. I wish you all happy practicing. See you again. Bye-bye.